Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your time again to attend our fourth webinar for the month. And for today's session, we're going to show you about the financial reporting and also the rental collection feature in Landlord123. So basically, what we mean by the financial reporting and the rental collection feature. So basically, as we have been working on the Landlord123 app for quite some time, and we have been getting a lot of survey. We have been getting a lot of reply and feedback from our users to share that they actually need more features that will help them to manage the rental collection and also the financial reporting more effectively. And we realize that yes, this is actually something that is very important, and that is where we start to create this rental collection and also the financial reporting feature. So for today's session, what I'm going to share on this tool feature is I'm going to show you the rental collection process, and then I will show about the reminders and notification that you receive on the rental, and finally on the financial reporting, how you can actually generate financial information, right? Okay, so before I go into the demo, I just want to share the rental reminder process, how the app can actually remind you on the reminders, on the rental that you need to collect. Because I believe sometimes if we have a lot of things to do, we might forget that there are some rents that we need to receive or collect from our tenant, right? And what if we have a lot of properties? How do we make sure that we don't miss any of the collection from the tenant, right? So with the Landlord123 app rental reminder feature, the app can actually help you to, we can say, is actually helping you to make sure that you are going through a process to not miss the rental collection. So what I mean here is, on we look at the first box here. On the first reminder here, on the 7th of every month, the system will actually, the app will actually send a reminder to tell you that, hey, for this particular property, there's a rental that you need to collect. So once you receive this reminder, there's a few actions that you can take. If let's say you already received the rent earlier, 7 days before this reminder, you can actually dismiss the app so that the app will not send any more reminder to you. Or if you want, you can click on the send feature, where you actually send a notification to the tenant to tell them that they haven't made payment for the rental. Or you can click on the snooze so that the app will actually remind you later. Okay, so if you click on the snooze for the first reminder, 7 days later, the app will send you a second reminder, right? So what happened is, on the second reminder, you will also get the same option, whether you want to dismiss, you want to send, or you want to snooze the reminder again. So if you choose dismiss, so at this stage, there will be no reminder, right? If let's say we go back at the first reminder, if on the first reminder we choose dismiss, then there will be no reminder for the rest of the month for that particular property. If you choose snooze, 7 days later, it will come to the second reminder, right? So if you dismiss, it will not send reminder for the rest of the month until the following month. If you choose send, then a reminder is sent to the tenant to remind them that they have to pay the rent for your property. Or if you choose snooze, then this time the app will actually keep in mind that you want another reminder. And for our app, on the second reminder, we will send it every 3 days on the second reminder, right? So here on the second reminder, it will send 3 days. After that, 3 days and 3 days later, on the third reminder, when on the 21st of the month, it will send the final reminder. So on the final reminder, you can do the same action. You can dismiss, you can send a notification, or you can snooze again. So whenever you choose snooze, then what happens is, in this third reminder round, every 2 days, there will be a reminder. So you will get reminder 2 days and 2 days until you choose dismiss. And once it reaches end of the month, and if the rent is still not received, in the application, later I will show you, it will actually show for that particular month, the rent is already overdue, and it will show in red color. So you will know that this particular rent you haven't received. Okay, and once it reaches end of the month, it will start the cycle again to send the first reminder on the 7th day of the month on the following month, right? So how the notification will look like when you receive this reminder. So on the left, the screen, you see the first screen here, it will show there's a notification on top of your browser, on your phone. It will say there's this rent collection, this amount for the property. So when you touch on this notification, it will bring you straight into the property where you can choose whether you want to snooze, dismiss, or send a notification, like what I mentioned just now, right? So now let me go into the demo to show you how what I actually mean on all this reminder. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, sharing my screen now. Okay, so let me now open up my window, my app as the landlord. So I'm using back the same account that I created for the demo. This is the landlord account. Okay, so now I'm logging in with this account as a landlord. I'll go to my property. You see there's a rental collection menu here. So I click on the rental collection. So in this screen, you can see the rent that you're supposed to receive for this month. So in this case, for this property, Metropolitan Square, there's a rent that I'm supposed to collect for the month of July. So if I click on the, you see on this a new rental for July 2020. Let me open. Okay, if I touch on this, then you see you open up the menu here, whether I want to snooze, I want to dismiss, or I want to send a notification to the tenant. So if I choose snooze, the system will actually set itself, there's a reminder that you want to send the next reminder on the 26th of July. Because remember just now I mentioned, after the 21st of the month, if there's a reminder that you want to snooze, it will send 2 days from the date of the notification. So today is 24th. So it's going to send another snooze to remind me on the 26th. But if I don't want to snooze it, I can actually choose dismiss. So what happens is if I choose dismiss, then this particular property, it will not send any more reminder to me. So it will stop there. And if I choose send notification, it will actually send one notification to the tenant. So remember the screen where last week I added a tenant, and the tenant is going to use the app with me, and they can report issue to me, correct? So for this feature today, the rental collection, this is a part where if I choose send notification to tenant, the tenant will actually receive a notification on their app from their side. So they will get the reminder saying that, hey, there's a rent that you need to pay. So the part where when they do the payment for the rent, they will have to do it offline. Maybe they will bank in the money to you, or they prepare a check. So once they already completed the transaction, then you will come back to this app, and then you will update the status. So the tenant, they completed the transaction, then for you, in order to confirm that this rent already completed, then you just need to come back and click on the update, and then you will be able to update the amount here. You can give your comment and also the date that you received the rent. Before I complete this one, let me just go to the tenant screen. Okay, my tenant is this account. Okay, let me go to the screen as a tenant. Okay, so you see as a tenant now, if I go to the My Property, you see the rental payment, there's a 1 there, right? I can touch on this. Then I can see, as a tenant, I can see that there's a one unpaid rent for the month of July, 2,500. So for the tenant, this is how it will look like on their screen. Now let me log out as the tenant and I go back to the landlord screen again. Okay, so now I go back to the landlord screen. I go to the rental collection. So the tenant already made a payment and then they inform me that they already pay and then they send me the proof of payment. I'll just come back to this screen here. I click on the update. And then here I will just put the amount. I can change the amount if I want, because this rental, this amount actually, it will follow the amount that you created at the first time when you create this property. So where is it? I just go back to the screen here. Let me go back to My Property. If you see, you touch on more, you touch on the View Property Detail. Here you can see the amount for the rent that you created earlier. So you see the rent amount here is showing $2,500, right? So that is where this 2,500 is coming from. So if now I go back to the update, so you see it will be defaulted to 2,500. If there's any change on the amount, you can change it here, or you can change it in the other screen as well. But if it is a permanent change on the rental price, then you just go back to the property details there and update it. So on the following month onwards, it will show the latest number, right? Then here I put in the comment, rent received. Then you can put in the date that you received the amount. So I receive it on Monday. Let's say I receive it on Monday. And remember to check on this rent receipt button checkbox here, because this is more like we want to confirm that we already received the rent. If you did not check on this and then you click on the confirm button, it will still show as the rent is yet to be received. Because the reason we allow this to happen is in case you want to update some comments here saying that the rent is not yet received, the tenant will pay next month, you can put your own comment here. So as long as you say that you check on this box saying the rent received and you tick close, okay, then this one, it will confirm that this is the rent that you received and for this particular amount. Right now, if I go back to the tenant screen, let me log out as the landlord now and go back to the tenant. I will show you how it will look like on the tenant screen. Okay, so this is the tenant account. Okay, so now you see the tenant on the rental payment, you see a 0 here already because for this month, he already paid. If I touch on this, here I can also see that the rent has been received. This is the amount. Okay, and as the tenant and even as the landlord, you can actually choose to download the receipt. So for this case, I'm now as the tenant. If I want to download the receipt for this rental, I can actually touch on this receipt button. Then it will ask me whether I want to download or I want to email this receipt. So if I choose download, it will download this receipt into my phone. Okay, so here you see it will show the details of the rental, right? So the description here will say rental for the month of July, and this is the amount. Then here you have the date as well. So you see, this is you can use this as the receipt for your tenant. Now, I go back to the landlord screen again. Okay, go to landlord. Okay, now I'm back to the landlord screen. So even for the landlord, when I go into my property here, you see on the rental collection is showing 0 for this property. I touch on this. Here it will also show me rent received, and you can see I can also download the receipt, and I can also update if there's any changes on the detail or the comment. Okay, and talking about this rental collection, the number here, if let's say for any particular property you have unpaid rent for 2 months or 3 months, this number here, it will show how many months you have unreceived rent. Okay, so basically this is the rental collection feature, and what I can say is with this feature, it can help you to make sure that you are collecting the rental on time. And in addition on that is the receipt, because if let's say without any app at the moment, you need to prepare an Excel file, prepare an official receipt, or you can buy those receipt book where you can manually write in the receipt for your tenant, right? So now you can do this paperlessly. So you can use an app to download the receipt, and even for your tenant, they can actually download the receipt themselves. Okay. Now, on the next feature that I want to share is on the financial reporting. Let me go to the financial tab. So now you see there's this financial tab on the top right here. I touch on the financial. It will go into the page where it will show all the property that you have with all the expenses, and also the part where you can download the financial report. Okay, so first you look at the financial tab here. From the previous sessions, I've been sharing how we are able to update the issues expenses and how we can update other expenses, right? If you want to view in detail what are all these expenses, we just click on this view expenses here. It will show you what have you recorded. For the issues expenses, this amount can only be recorded if there is any issue that has been created from the issue screen, right? You have any expenses that you spend, then once you uploaded the receipt, the amount will come here. But for other expenses, this is quite flexible, because as long as there's any additional expenses that occur for this property, because for this case, I go back to this screen here. You see now I'm managing this financial, Metropolitan Square. Or let me go back to the financial screen. I'm managing the Metropolitan Square, right? So if there's any additional expenses that I want to add for this particular property, I can just touch on the add expenses. Okay, so now you open up the screen for me to key in the details. I can choose a type. So by default, we have the council rate, electricity, and water. So if there's any other expenses that is not recorded, it's not available for selection, you can choose others. Then here you can type in the other expenses, right? So you see now we have council rate, electricity, water. So if let's say I have others is I just put maintenance. I can type in myself a maintenance, and then I can put in the amount 275. Right, then I can put in the amount, the date, when is it occur. So let's say I just put it on the 1st of the month, right? So we can also mention in the app whether these expenses, is it bear by the tenant, or is this a taxable amount? These two options is mainly for record purpose, because at the end of the day, when we generate the report, you can see what are the expenses that occur and whether these expenses being backed by the tenant, or is it something that you have to bear the cost, right? And for the part where you choose expenses taxable, this is because when we are renting our property, there are expenses that might occur that is taxable. So this is where you can specify that this maintenance or this expenses that you are keying in is something that is taxable, right? So let's say it's not either one of them, I just touch on the check at the top right here. So now it's creating the record. Close. Okay, so now you see the other expenses. This section here is actually showing the details, like how much is the total expenses. If I choose on the view all expenses, you can actually see now it will show me this is the amount for the other expenses, 275, and there's electricity for 259. Okay. Okay, so now you see, I've already recorded my expenses on the issues, and I also recorded expenses that occur outside from the issues. So now, end of the month or maybe end of the year, I want to download a financial report to see how much I already spent for this particular property. So you see for this property here, there's a download finance report. So you touch on this, it will show you whether do you want to download this file or do you want to email it to yourself. All right. If we choose email, we have to make sure that the email is the email that we are using, because now I want to confirm which email am I using. I just go back to the menu here. You see on the top there, it will show my name and then the email address. So if I choose email, it will actually send to my Gmail. So now let me download and I say email. Now the system is actually generating the report and then it's going to send this email to me. Okay. And for your information, the report that we generate is actually in an Excel format. Okay. So I think I received the email already. Okay. So you see this is the email. So once I generate it, it will send me the email. It will tell me, okay, here's a financial report for the property that you requested just now. And this is the file. Let me just download it. Okay, let me just open it straight. I can use the worksheet here. Okay, so you see, this is a financial report showing me the income that I'm earning from this property. So because from the beginning of this webinar session, we created this account and this property in the month of July. So and then just now I show the process of collecting the rent, right? So I've already collected the rent, and here it will show me how much is the rent that I've collected. It is 2,500. And then on the next section, he shows issues expenses. So for this property, it will show me all the expenses that I have that already occur for this property. So I scroll here, I can see for this property, I already spent $377. And finally, on the other expenses, it will show me all the expenses that already occur. Okay. So this is how the financial reporting actually works. And let me go back to the app again. Okay, you will notice that we have another button here at the bottom right, the green color button here with the download icon, right? You will normally use this one if you have more than one property. Because now I only have one property, which is this Metropolitan Square. So I only need to download one. I can straight away click on the download finance report, and then I can download it or I can email it. But if we have more than one property and we want everything to be sent to me at one time, I can just click on this download button here. It will show me the same option. I can also email or I can download. Let me choose email again. So what happened now is the app is actually compiling the finance report for all the property that I have. So if imagine you are managing 5 property or 6 property, if you use this download at the bottom right, it will compile everything and then it will send you the file. There will be one single file with all the expenses, all the financial reporting for each property separately. Okay, so let me just see. I think I get the email already. right? So I get the second email. So for the one where you see just now, if it is one property, it will straight away send you the Excel file. But if you're using the part where it's sending a compiled version of all the financial reporting, it will send to you as a zip file. So you can receive the file and then you can download all the financial reporting for all the property individually. Okay. Right. So that's it for all the features that we have for now or for the Landlord123 app. Right. I hope that the financial reporting portion and also the rental collection feature that I showed just now is clear enough for you to understand how this app can actually help you to manage your rental collection and also for you to manage the financial portion of your property rental. Because if we are not using any app to manage the property, one problem is like I mentioned on my very first webinar, you will have to manage you will need to manage it through an Excel file, and then you have to communicate using the messaging tools, which is a lot of work. And sometimes if you have a lot of property, you will miss out some ways or some information, right? So I hope that what I shared today is helpful and able to help you to understand more about the rental collection and also the financial feature of Landlord. Okay, let me go back to my computer. Okay, so if anyone, if you're new to this webinar, so basically the app is available, download for free. And for the first property, you can use the app without paying. So it will be available for you for one property. You can do basic property management like property inspection, issue module, and also the rental collection. So if you like the app and you want to use some additional feature, you have more than one property, you can go for our starter package where it's only $9 per month. And if you go for 1 year, it's actually we are charging for $99, which is for 11 months, but we will give you 1 month free. So if you go for starter, you can have up to 3 properties. But if you are managing a lot of property, more than 3 properties, then I would recommend you go for the professional, because for professional package, it's only $209 for 1 year. So it will be 11 months plus 1 month free. And you should go for the professional if you have more than 3 property, because on top of that, you can also get the expenses tracking, right? And also for unlimited properties, right? And Landlord123 for business is something that is available for any agencies, because if you're an agency and you have agents that is helping clients to manage a property and you want to build your own branding, so this is something that we have for our members. If you want to have an app with your branding where you can show your logo and also your company color scheme, you can talk to us, and then we have a special package for company, because for company, if you want to build your own branding, so this is a good chance for you to work together with us to create your customized template to show your logo and also your color, your company color team. And when your agent is managing with your client, right, they can actually see that your company is actually providing an app to help them to manage a property. Okay, so that's all for today. Thanks for your time. I hope that these sessions, all the sessions that we have throughout this webinar of collection of webinars, have give you more information or more knowledge about how Landlord123 can actually be helpful for you to manage your property. Okay, so that's all. We are going to organize more webinars like this to help our users to understand more about the features. And when we are coming out with more new features, we will also continue to organize sessions like this. So do follow us on our Facebook page and also our LinkedIn. And if there's any updates, you will be seeing all these updates there. Okay, so thank you for your time. Hope to see you again. Thanks.